What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is really influencing it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 1.83%, $2.09 the low, $2.22 the high. And regarding volume, a fair share, so 49.3 mil for that, 57.03 is the average. No official news from Lucid itself, no SEC filing, so it is just kind of piggybacking off of the broader market, what some Fed speakers are saying, but generally speaking, it's not looking good for Lucid. So first thing that I wanted to bring up was this right here. So Lucid VP of Marketing leaves, becomes 8th executive to leave this year. And this has been one thing that I've brought up, even 2024 aside, 2022, 2023, they did mass VP changes. So at what stage is it that Lucid is going to look inward and say, hey, the CEO is not right? So yeah, this is just one thing that has really bothered me a lot. Some people always do say, hey, this is normal. Yes, doing it one time is normal, having a mass VP change, not this. It is like, keep doing something wrong and you're expecting a different result. That single-handedly is Lucid. So I did throw up this poll, so feel free to comment in the description your viewpoint on this. But do you think Lucid stock would go up if Peter was not the CEO? He is a smart guy, so I'm not saying for him to get fired, but I think he should stay simply as CTO, not CEO. He does not know how to manage the company, and he probably needs to take a good mass pay cut, because one thing that has really bothered me is the fact that they gave, before even the Gravity was unveiled, so much in bonuses. I'm sure some people already forgot that, but not me. I remember all that crap. Bonuses were given before actual demand was, and still to this day, demand is not set. They don't even know how successful the Gravity is going to be. So really, if you are investing in Lucid, you have to pray that the Gravity is going to be a success. And in my opinion, having the 95 grand one out first is going to be a disaster. We'll just have to wait and see ultimately until either a flyover or just some PR, or I guess their next earnings, just to give us some more insight. But I do feel that price point is not good. And Lucid, I feel like they didn't really learn their lesson. Air didn't really go all that well. AGT was their biggest flop ever, and that's because of the price point. So what do? Let's just try it again with the Gravity. It just doesn't make sense, especially all year they've been saying 80,000, 80,000, and then you come out with a 95. It's not the greatest. And even though it doesn't really affect Lucid all that much, Trump obviously is planning to kill that $9,500 consumer tax credit. I think the writing was on the wall for that for a while now. I've already stated that. But if you think about it, technically 2026 or late 2026 is under Trump's term, so that mid-size would get affected. So that also is going to affect profitability, because Peter has stated that the mid-size is their path to profitability. So adding or kind of killing that $7,500 tax credit is going to do a lot of damage. I know a lot of people might not be thinking about that, but technically it's something to pay attention to. So let me know your thoughts on that. Shorts aren't really doing all that much right now. So shorts are returning 54,000 shares. So they're kind of just letting the market do its thing with Lucid, and big money is pretty much selling. So by shorts not really doing anything, they're just building up ammunition essentially. But 23.86% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be $284.53 million, or million shares, sorry. $620 million, but 1.23% is that cost to borrow. So like I said, I think it's just not a good scenario. Lucid is breaking down on a technical level as well, so I'll go over that in a second, but these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So pretty much two buys, one for 204,000, other one for 181. Aside from that, big money is just kind of dropping the mic and say, hey, I'm done right now, and just let me know when the Gravity stats are out. So Yeah, honestly, I know some people might be very optimistic about Lucid, but as of right now, there's just too much grayness. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm not here to pump anything. I'm here just to lay out the facts and break it down on what is really affecting Lucid. So this is why generally a lot of the stuff I've brought up is bearish, and some people don't like that. But in reality, if you kind of look at the stock price over the last 1 year, down 46.22%, obviously they haven't been trading for 5 years, but let's say even factoring in 2022 when it was at 28 or even 45, there's not much to be bullish on if the stock is down like 90-something% from the highs, right? So it is what it is. You're always going to have those individuals that just does not want to listen to anything negative. But yeah, it's not the greatest right now. But moving over to options, 525,000 in calls, 1.26 million in puts. So 59% of all the options being done so far today are bearish, and it looks like big money is really betting against Lucid today in specific. Normally I go over this every day, but this stands out. 572,000 just between 10:30 and 10:35. So some big entity is betting against Lucid. I don't know if they're just made aware of some new information or if that kind of coincides with possibly this right here. So 11:23, obviously with the time change that could be associated, but still let me know your thoughts on that. Of the call options that are being purchased, now you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 250. So nobody is really anticipating $3 or higher or anything like that. And then looking at puts, so you do see a consensus for it to be kind of sub $2 and even sub $1.50 by June. So kind of crazy. And based on this is exactly what people are betting against. So that big entity right over here that I did bring up, that is this right here. So someone is anticipating for it to be sub $1.50. I myself, the only thing I did for options wise today was, I think it was for January. So this January change, January 17th, 2025, I did sell some $5 calls because yeah, I don't think it's feasible for it to be at that level going forward. Unless, like I said, something else does dramatically change, but I think the Gravity right now is gonna, at best, keep it at the status quo. So not really much buying associated to that, but what do I know, right? Right now, with it at $2.14, it's flirting with this S1. So the LE Wave Technicals leading into today was pointing for it to kind of hit that mid to high ones. So if it does break below this 214 and stay there, then that is going to come to fruition. And so far, it looks like big money wants to bring Lucid down on a technical level. Like I said, a lot of different things is influencing the market, EVs, just stocks in general. You have Fed speakers, Powell, you also have PPI that came out. So a lot of stuff is really influencing the market, but even a lot of those stocks are very close to their 52-week high. Lucid is complete polar opposite. So I think Lucid does need to seriously look inward and really reassign Peter just to solely the CTO and bring in someone credible into that CEO role. And we've seen a lot of companies do that where just moving over the CEO causes the stock price to go up. More notably, Starbucks. Starbucks did that, it went up 15%. Chipotle, which obviously had their CEO poached, they went down like 10-15%. So CEOs do make a very important kind of point for that. So yeah, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you doing with Lucid? Based on the momentum indicator shows retail investors aren't really doing all that much. They were buying into, I guess, the overall hype of the broader market, but last several trading days, ever since looks like the 8th, they haven't been doing anything. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. 2 things I do want to share with you. Take advantage of this promo. So even though Lucid isn't doing all that great, you can get 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Then aside from that, I did launch memberships and access to a private Discord where I give buy signals on stocks and options, and they have been absolutely killing it. So make sure you pop over there and take a look at that. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.